a tool that you can use to transform the world. I can tell you for free, Nelson further said that education is a great engine for personal development. Most of the people, even the lecturers here, even my brother and sister, professors, vice chancellors who are here, majority of them have come from humble beginnings. But because of education, today he is the vice chancellor of the Laka University. And even you were sitting here, you might be a son or a daughter of a tea plucker, a coffee picker, or even a hustler, as they said. But you can be the hand of this great institution. You can be a vice chancellor. You can become whatever you want to become. This is because education develops valuable skills. Valuable skills that, as my sister said, they are useful for job market. She has rightly put across that the labor market is looking for an individual who is multi-skilled. If you are doing BN science, if you are doing something like engineering, if you are doing something like agriculture, you don't just only to have the principles of agriculture as the only thing that you require for employability. You also require to take other skills that are necessary to enable you to enhance the knowledge that you have. Education also gives civic skills. These are skills that enables you to have other things that are required by employers, like soft skills, ability to communicate, as my sister said, ability also to influence others, definitely, to be more productive within the area that you are in. Education also boosts talents and interests. It's no wonder when my two brothers here were presenting the Shairi, everybody else was awake. Why? Because they have a talent that I believe that they have gone through education. And that's why I was saying these two guys, if they are properly actually nurtured, if they are properly incubated, these are guys who can be actually employed, not even at the local radio stations, by BBC, Voice of America, and that kind of levels. These are international guys, by all standards. They are not just local. They have the talent, they have the ability, and I can see they have the willpower. Education is also a vehicle for equity and great social inclusion. It is education that will only make people of different diverse background definitely to dine and wine in the same levels. According to United Nations Committee on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, the right to education optimizes the indivisibility and interdependence of all human rights. Thus, education has been formally recognized as a human right since the adoption of Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. According to United Nations Millennium Development Goals, member states committed themselves to combat poverty, hunger, diseases, and discrimination against women. Goal number 4 of Sustainable Development Goals ensures inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Thus, this goal has 7 targets and 3 means of achieving the targets by the year 2030. So you realize that the member states, of which Kenya is one of them, they have committed themselves to ensure that the following targets are realized by 2030. 1, universal primary and secondary education. That's why the government is championing 100% transition from primary to secondary school. Early childhood development and universal pre-primary education, that is undertaken by the county government. Equal access to technical, vocational and higher education. That's why the government has ensured that in every county at least there is a public university. And this county is so blessed. They have 2 public universities, Chuka University and Daraka University. That's a great opportunity. That is to access. And you can see also we have the Daraka Technical University and Vocational College, where I have seen very good innovations. In fact, feeding chicken. So that even the DVC here, Felonica, Professor, when you are here, you are banned that the poultry may be feeding automatically because they empty one container and then because of the weight, the other one with the fins laces up and they start feeding again. Automation. That is what we are talking of technical education. Relevant skills for decent work, gender equality and inclusion, universal youth literacy, education for sustainable development, and global citizenship. These goals are to be realized through the following means: effective learning environment. What it implies is that for us to be able to realize these targets that are set under SDGs is that we require an environment where learning can take place. An environment where all that which is required for learning, both automated systems, resources are provided for. And also innovations that where the local materials can also be used for learning take place. Then it also requires that the people who are learning, these are the students or the pupils and students in high schools, then they require to be facilitated. That's why the government at the national level, at the county level, at the world level, and I believe even the university, there is provision of scholarships, fees and bursaries and the like. This is to ensure that the students are getting access to education. The last one is teachers and educators or the lecturers. In that sense, it means that the education cannot be complete if the teachers or the lecturers or the instructors do not have the necessary skills and do not have the necessary means of delivering that particular skill that they have. Africa Agenda 2063. Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, is Africa's blueprint and the master plan for transforming Africa in the global powerhouse for the future. It is the continent's strategic framework that aims to deliver on its goals for inclusive and sustainable development and is concrete manifesto of Pan-African drive for unity, self-determination, freedom, progress, collective prosperity pursued under Pan-Africanism and Pan-Lesbianism. The education plan in the Agenda 63 prioritizes investment in education, technology, science and research as a key pillar for the African Renaissance. What it means is that even the member states, the presidents of this great continent, Africa, they came together and they came with Agenda Africa 2063 with an aim of putting Africa on the map of competitive world. And they are emphasizing specifically on education more so to ensure that all African states, they mobilize their citizens to ensure that they have love for knowledge, love for education, and above all technology and science. There can't be change if people are doing things the same way they are doing before. The vision for Africa 2063 is that at least 70% of all high school graduates will go to achieve tertiary education, with 70% of those graduates specializing in science and technology. And this university is more science oriented. So you are in the right track. But my big question to me and to you, at my level and to your level, is how many students are joining tertiary university education in Kenya now? I think the data, which may not be authentic, less than 20% of students from high schools are joining universities. And I don't think we are going beyond 55% of the students in high schools joining the tertiary institutions. But the target for Africa is 70%. That means as African nation, we have to strive to ensure that we really go for education. In Kenya, we are not left behind. In the new constitution 2010, Article 53, 1, Sabbatical B, every child has right to free and compulsory basic education. In the Bill of Rights, in the Constitution, Article 43, 1F, under economic and social rights, every person has a right to education. So when you are here, students, comrades, when you are here, it's your right to receive quality education under the Constitution. Article 55A, the youth have right to access to relevant education and training. So it is constitutional that we have institutions of higher learning so that our students and the young people who are the future of this country, the future of the world, the future of our families, can get the right knowledge and right education. In 1963, the founding fathers of this nation committed themselves to address three main challenges or main enemies who remain to date, as I talk with you, the enemies that we are struggling with. One is poverty, diseases, and illiteracy. Poverty, diseases, and illiteracy. And I saw in one of the projects, there is a control of mosquitoes. And the lecturer there, or the person who was presenting to us, was telling us how they want to use the mosquito repellents. And you have many plants that have products or chemicals that can be used. We have targeted minuta. we have Eucalyptus globula, and we have the neem and other plants. So we need to really harness from the local products, plants that we have, and we do. Remember the other day, is it Camry? Camry announced that we have a new species of mosquito, which has come all the way from Djibouti and it has crossed Somalia. It's already now in Kenya. And this mosquito is very strange. It can survive in urban environment and also in a typical, outside environment. So it's going to disturb everybody. The question is, as the Dhaka University, what are we doing to put at bay this mosquito before it arrives in the Dhaka University? Yeah, what are we doing? You are not aware of that? Oh, good. It has been argued, spraying. It has been argued that quality education should provide children and young people with the necessary skills and knowledge, attitudes, and behavior to lead positive and productive lives. And they should include not only literacy and numeracy, but also wider life skills that empower them to be leaders and change makers. I am borrowing that and building on that because of what my sister said. It's not about that you have got your first degree or your certificate, whatever. It is good to have that paper. It's not about the skills, not about the knowledge. It's about your ability to use that knowledge to be productive to yourself and the society. It's not about that only, but there is what we call soft skills. Vice Chancellor, sometimes we get a bit amused and amazed, and sometimes we feel shy. When a graduate comes to your office and tells you, I want to be employed. Look at that statement. Nataka kuajiriwa. Huh? Are you getting that? I want to be employed. Soft skills, mannerisms, character, etiquette, the way you also groom yourself. Actually, from Monday to yesterday, it will be told by my people, we were having interviews for secretariat staff. And you find the way people package themselves, the way you present yourself as you enter in the interview room. You know, as you walk in, people are looking at you. You find somebody, okay, you are ushered in. Even before you are told sit down, you have given yourself a chair. And we had provided some goodies, because we want to see etiquette. Then even before you are told welcome for water and biscuits, somebody is already in it. And that's part of the interview, you know. Unasema ni heri utoke hapa na mwili mzuri, You know, that's what we are talking about. It's not about knowledge, it's not about the skills we have learned, but we have soft skills about character. Education in the 21st century is a new frontier, and 21st century learners are a new breed. Many of the students going through schools since 2015 are from our generation, our new generation. They are calling themselves Generation Alpha. Different generations that have gone through the world, those people who are born between 1925 and 1945, they are referred to as traditionalists. Those who are born between 1946 and 1964, they are called baby boomers. I don't know whether you have some here. Those who are born 1965 1979, they are called Generation X. Those who are born between 1980 and 1990, they are called millennials or Generation Y. Those who are born between 1990 and 2010, they are Generation Z or I generation or centennials. Those who are born between 1920 and to date, these guys is Generation Alpha. There's a generation of children who have grown up in different worlds from older generations. They have never lived in a world without smartphones, drones, tablets, computers, apps, 3D, and AI, artificial intelligence. They are a generation just more or less like Generation Z. They are extremely comfortable with technology, and they have grown up using it. Many of them are given smartphones or tablets before they know how to talk or even how to walk. In fact, most of them, their mothers took service when they were still in the bow. This unprecedented access to technology means our students, whom I'm addressing today, have more information available to them than we could have dreamt of a couple of decades ago. In fact, they are smarter in technology than even their instructors or their lecturers. That's why they are able sometimes to hack the exams. Or they do the exam and they wait until everything is finalized. But before a day before the Senate sit down to award degrees and to decide who gets first class, second class, and the like, immediately the Senate is through and they have sent the information. They are able now to hack and transform D to a B and the like. Then you find somebody who was supposed to have and lower, then he's there with the first class honors, and you wonder, we never saw this name when we were discussing where did it come from. They are unaware of the borders that used to strictly contain our experience of the world. Small children and even the young people today communicate with people all over the world. Technological knowledge is very essential, and if rightly used, then the world can move very far. As educators, therefore, we have to enable and enhance and assist the young generation who are very much savvy to the technology to use it to prepare for the 21st century. Allow me to say that the world has gone through 3 major revolutions, industrial revolutions, and currently we are in the 4th industrial revolution. The first industrial revolution, people used water and steam power to mechanize production. That was around the 18th, 19th century thereabout, where a lot of mechanization was through the use of steam power. That's why we had the steam engines. In the second industrial revolution, there was the use of electric power to create mass production. Because the populations in the world had increased, human numbers had increased enormously, because the mortality rate had declined significantly because of the use of technology in trying to eliminate diseases. And as such, the task then was to have more production to feed or to take care of the demand of the world then. And therefore the education system then were geared towards the use of electric power. And the nations all over the world, they geared the education systems and curricula to address the need therein. The third industrial revolution was the digital. In this one, you realize that there was the use of electronics and information technology to automate production. Now it is not about production, but about automation of production. That's why the Vice Chancellor was asking a group there, is your system working? Then the guy was very intelligent, and I thank God for that. That guy is intelligent. That guy should be assisted. Because he said, whatever I'm showing you is a prototype. Excellent. Very good answer, isn't it? Very logical. It's a prototype. Otherwise, I'm going back to the drawing board so that it can ensure that it works. The fourth industrial revolution is where we are now. Actually, some of the countries they are way ahead of us. Is building on the land and is characterized by fusion of technologies. That is, bridging the physical, digital, and biological spheres in what is known as hyper-physical systems. The fourth industrial revolution is arguably the ultimate digital experience in the 21st century. It embodies new possibilities in communication, production, and entertainment. It is designed to disrupt and yet enhance social, political, economic, and cultural existence like never before. And actually, the club of politicians we have in county assembly, in the National Assembly, and in the Senate, they used actually technology more. In fact, you find there are so many youth MCAs and MPs. Why? When the older generation believed in man-to-man contact campaign, the youth used what? Social media, inequality. Yes. And they were able to campaign. So you find the older generation who are sometimes even more empowered in various ways, economic and name it. They were outsmarted by the young generation because the young generation were able to use social media, which is very effective in the young generation. The aspirations of the for the industrial revolution actually makes the 21st century digital revolution to look like a mere tech phase. In the face of digitization of the manufacturing sector, driven by disruptive trends, including the use of data and connectivity, analytical human machines, interaction and improvement in robots is a key thing. And that's why Jack Ma says, this is the owner of Alibaba, this Chinese guy, he says, only changing education can our children compete with machines. You realize there is a lot of mechanization, there is a lot of automation. Unless we have an education system, unless we have programs within universities that can enable our sons and daughters, our graduates, to compete favorably even with machines, then what will happen is that we will churn out graduates who are not employable. Because what we realize the world over is adopting technology. When the person was showing us about the artificial intelligence use in identifying people who are coming in and out of university at the gates, and he was even telling us how it can be used at the gates to know who is coming in, who is moving out. All what he is telling us, we can use technology to sack all the security guards. Quietly, isn't it quite? Yeah, because, I mean, why do I require a watchman when I can have a gadget that will erase an alarm? Why do I require a police officer when I can have a robot that can detect when I'm standing here that there is somebody who has a device that can harm? Or even somebody who has a biological weapon. You know, when you are here, even if a security person is near you, he doesn't know whether there's a biological weapon. But you know, using artificial intelligence, you can use robots that can detect bacteria. I remember in July, we went to Singapore, and they were selling us a small gadget that 10 feet from a radius of 10 feet, it can be able to filter all the bacteria and viruses near you. So when I'm seated with you, bacteria, viruses near you, they have no harm, even if you sneeze, even if you do what? As I walk in the crowd, I cannot easily get infected. Why do I require doctors then? So it means that the people you train, then we need an education system that can address technology also. Let me tell you something that I also realized. Artificial intelligence is highly used in China education system. It is used in facial recognition of students in classes. That's what I was talking about. That within, if it's lecture hall, the lecturer does not require to give you those seats, attendance seats. I know sometimes I use them. I've been a lecturer and I'm still one. And there, what they do, the lecturer laptop is enough, and they have put gadgets in the lecture room. So as you come in, it takes your face, which is already a biometric recognition, and in the lecturer's smartphone or even laptop, it takes you that you have come for lecture. And when you move out, it reckons. Because some of you come registered, walk out. So hautatuma mwingine afanye nini? Akusainie. It's real time. Very democratic. Very faithful. I don't want to use very godly because it's very clear. And the same has been used. That the students are given smartphones, smart pens, so that as the student writes answers in an exam, the examiner can tell how much time you spent in a certain question. Yeah? In schools, the parents and the schools are making their sons and daughters to wear brainwave tracking devices, a small device we wear around here. This monitors the students' attention and focus in the lecture room. So that when madam is sitting here, professor, you can know how much time your son is taking or daughter is concentrating in an English class. Asikuambia sida ni mwalimu. Kumbe the problem was, during the time when the lectures were taking place, about 10% of the time the student was active. But the rest of the time, he was off. That is what artificial intelligence is all about. And the world and Africa and the Naka University cannot be left behind. Even assisting the students to acquire more knowledge and better knowledge. Allow me to say that quality education as a means of societal transformation. As I have said, education is indispensable to individual and society. For without it, there would be loss of all accumulated knowledge of the ages and all the standard of conduct. An individual must be socialized into prevailing culture and must learn the rules of conduct. Quality education therefore prepares the ground where social institutions spring from. For centuries, it has been the main tool that has been used in shaping individuals and also the society, whether it was formal or it is informal. Education therefore has powerful ability to create cohesion between individuals and direct the course of progress of community. And I can say without fear of contradiction, I don't come from very far. I come from within the vicinities of Eastern region. Before Chuka University started, from that small college, Ndagani Variant Polytechnic, Chuka and Ndagani area was nothing. But today, look at the robust growth of Ndagani area, Chuka area. Look at what has happened in this region, Tharaka, where we are today. It is because of the impact that this institution is bringing to this community. And higher education, therefore, does not merely give us information, but makes our life to be in harmony with the existence. As Estin said, education is not learning of facts, but training of the mind to think. Comrades, I know when we were there as comrades inside lecture halls, sometimes we go to Nasema and agree. My friend, when you come to the job market, that's when you realize Arambe does not apply. We are not only impacting knowledge, but we want you to get the right skills and ability to think beyond the theory, beyond the knowledge that you have been given. It has been recognized as one of the most important agents to transform humanity. Educated population, is key to transforming economies, building inclusiveness and peaceful societies, ensuring that there is lasting protection of the planet and its natural resources. I saw very good natural resources there. Precious stones within this region. Education is going to improve them so that there is value addition for marketability, and is going also to enhance the ability to be preserved for the next generation. The more skilled a country's population is, the greater capacity to understand and process new information, to absorb, adapt, and catalyze technological advances that drive sustained long-term development, and to be receptive of the environment and social changes and seize opportunities that are available. As the professor said, it's not about your strength, it's not about your intellect, it's about your adaptability. How do you adapt to the environment you are in? When we employ you as Teacher Service Commission as a teacher, how do you adapt to that environment and transform yourself to great heights? I am a teacher by profession. I started teaching in a very simple school. If I take you there, you'll wonder whether this is where the chairman came from. Actually, I only found the whole school had a population of 48 students, from 1, 2, and 3. So you can imagine how many boys and girls were there per class. But you had my colleagues, classmates of mine, who went to Mangu as teachers, like me, who are posted big schools. It's not about what you have learned, but ability for you to have a change in mindset so that you can improve yourself and from where you are. That's what education does. Development of entrepreneurial learning in schools and universities contribute to broaden students' perspective on how economies work, ability to set their own goals, and combine technical and social skills on how modern digital technology can potentially help in building youth's learning abilities, as well as enhance teaching, and how private sector, and I am happy that my sister is here, can engage the government to educate a skilled workforce and develop them to be employable. One time, the Governor Emeritus for Meru, Kiraito, said, in Meru we have so many people who have gone to school, but very few are employable. And you know, people thought that Governor, what is the problem? How can I be educated and I'm not employable? And that's what my sister is talking about. Soft skills. Communication is very important. Communication is very important. Etiquette is very important. In fact, they say education can take you up there, but it's only character that can sustain you up there. And therefore the need for us to learn soft skills of communication, packaging yourself. I know you people go to the supermarkets. In fact, we went there and we were told that they want to come up with the Tharaka University supermarket. When you go to supermarket today and you go to a place where there are sweets, you are even unable to know which one to pick, because the packaging is so attractive. Look at where we have loaves of blend. The packaging is just amazing. That is how you are supposed to package yourself when you are in the job market or when you are even looking for a job. And that will not come just by bit of the skills that you have got the knowledge. However, it will come by the value systems that you have learned from the institutions that you are in. And I'm happy that even this institution, the Tharaka University, is moving a step forward to invite speakers like the one who has spoken now to tell you it's not about the knowledge, but also how to package yourself. Education informs the skills and ways of behaving that are desirable not only for your own personal life, but for the society. Let me say that one can therefore not undoubtedly say that education addresses the issues that are surrounding us, the climate change. And therefore, as educated communities, then you have to ask ourselves, what are the impacts of climate change that we are facing in? It is the young generation that we have today that can address some of these issues. Because what we realize is that climate change has pushed the world to a lot of poverty, mental and physical health, injustice and discrimination. In fact, whatever you are seeing there about cattle rusting is about climate change. If these people were empowered economically, if these people were empowered socially, if these people were empowered in terms of education, I don't think they would be doing what they are doing today. And therefore you have to come up with means and ways, innovative ways, through education, that we can turn around some of these challenges that we have. Quality education, therefore, serves several functions for society, such as socialization, social integration, social placement, social and cultural innovation, creating more employment opportunities, and securing higher income. I can tell you without fear of contradiction, whatever the courses you are doing today is very important. In fact, once you get the first degree, then you are qualified to become anything in this world. And it's not about the degree you have, it's the line you follow. If you want to become a governor, you require a first degree. So it means all of you after graduating, you are qualified to be county governors. So all what you need to do is to package yourself for marketability to the masses. But you are already qualified. All of you, once you clear your first degree, you are qualified to be a cabinet secretary. In fact, most of the jobs, they say minimum first degree. So the question is, therefore, what is this that should be given or should be defined as quality education? Because quality education, therefore, requires to have certain pillars. For it to be quality, it needs to have a bit of availability. Is it available in our country? Is it accessible? Are we accessing the knowledge? And how easy is it? Is it accessible to everybody? To the women, men, and the disadvantaged? Is it acceptable? This education you are talking about, is it acceptable? There was something we are being taught about such character, this Christian group that is trying to teach about character. There was somebody who was there. And they were trying to talk of the current debate in the Kenyan media and social arena. It's knowledge, yes, but is it acceptable? So what kind of knowledge are we teaching? Is it relevant? Is it going to address the current immediate needs and the future needs of humanity? Is it adaptable or is it static? What kind of knowledge are we passing to our people? And in that regard, the Kenyan government has not been left behind in recent times. Kenya education system landscape has witnessed significant change with the introduction of ever-extending spectrum of competing government initiatives and policies. The first concept that the purpose of education is to pass national examinations may be a thing of the past in the 21st century. Whatever you see Kenya adopting today, the CBC, it is in line with the Agenda 2063, African Agenda 2063. It is in line with the UNESCO Convention on the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which was a UNESCO declaration where Kenya, being a member state, is a signatory. So CBC is going to be a game changer if it is properly implemented. This is because the kind of education system today we have, the 844, is the more I feed you, I'll only say you are intelligent if you are able to form it 100% back. If you are unable to do that, then you are not intelligent. Is that a measure of level of intelligence? I don't think so. I believe that we can be able to be assessed in other ways better, even without exams, and you graduate without sitting for any major exam. But over time,